far. Jax banned away. Camille up for grabs now. Galio as well. For that presence, for that global presence. Galio, Shen both up. Gragas still available too. And in terms of ADC side, got Zeri and Varus banned away. So I think the top priority here is going to be the Xayah inadvertently.
Xayah still definitely one of the best ADCs out there. But let's see if they will be picking it up later on. OMG has locked in. And you mentioned Camille earlier on. EDG see this opportunity and they picked up this champion.
Fiddlesticks getting locked up here. I'm excited to see this for OMG. Yeah, there's not much to say about this pick. I just want to see how this is gonna work. Of course, the response for EDG is going to be the standards. Camille, Gragas, great combo individually. Camille, of course, self-sufficient. Gragas, tons of damage, tons of tankiness, tons of CC. Basically, an all-in-one kind of champ. It's nice to have. Classic response going to be that Fiora. Ornn for the safety net of the tankiness, of course. So, pretty solid lineup for the most part on both ends. Evelynn, yeah, I'm going to be rounding up the damage here for the side of EDG. Liking it so far. The one thing that is missing for me for both sides, I think they could do with a little bit more CC, perhaps. A little bit more damage, of course. No bottom laners yet for both sides. So, I suspect that's going to be the ban priority here.
They are definitely trying to limit the choices. Israel being banned out as well. No Arcane Shift, no global presence, you know, just to limit the possible range that OMG can have. And it's so funny how we mentioned champions like Camille and Fiora, you know, baron laners, even mid laners here. And it looks like the teams were able to do their homework. They picked up all of these very much in the meta champions. Ornn is still up for, Ornn was a good priority for OMG. But you mentioned Xayah, and looks like OMG has a different plan. They banned it out because, you know, Israel is no longer available. Yeah,
so many ADC bans here. Kai'Sa banned on out as well. Wonder what the last one is going to be. Really thins out the choices. Corki is one of the few remaining choices that I could come in mind. So that's going to be a very hotly contested pick. If they don't ban it away, there you go. Lucian banned away here by OMG. So EDG could be gunning in for that Corki. Nice mix of damage for them. Got tons of magic. Zhang on the Camille, of course, got that pushing power. But with regards to the cohesion in their plan, I'm not necessarily sure. Because yes, they've got split pushing. They got disengage on the Gragas. They got pick potential on the Evelynn. Then you've got raw damage in from the Corki. But I'm not necessarily sure what the aim of their comp is. Is it going to be more towards the team fights? Is it going to be more towards the split pushing or the pick composition? I'm not necessarily sure what EDG is trying to accomplish. Meanwhile, for OMG, they got a ton of damage already, ton of scaling, and they could go for team fights as well if they want to. They got the Jhin, Kassadin for that late game insurance, and of course an Ornn to tie it all up with. I'm really liking this comp so far from OMG. And now for EDG, they're going to be locking it up with, or rounding it up with a Senna. Okay, nice response there on the Senna, because I think it's it kind of evens out the playing field in terms of the late game progress here. Kassadin versus Senna, of course, scaling to infinity in that late game. But which comp would you say that you like better here, Ego?
Okay, so I know I said towards the start of the match that I love all of these solo kills, these ganks, but seeing the lineup for EDG just gave me a hit of nostalgia. You know, like way back season 0, actually season 1 in the Wild Rift Pro scene, we've been seeing an Evelynn pick. There's also Corki, and there's also, you know, the safety net of a very good front line. So looking at the drafts only, I'm gonna have to go with EDG. How about you, Tato?
Well, I already said I like OMG a little bit better. But okay, I like that. We have a little bit of a contrast and difference. And EDG, though, I do have to give them credit. Their comp is kind of all in. right? If you take a look at it, it's go in or go home because well, they don't necessarily have anything like a damage sponge like an Ornn. So if they go in, they have to commit because they have a ton of damage. That's the only way that they can make the most out of this comp. Camille goes in, and then you got everyone else following right after that, dumping everything they've got. And if they don't make it work, well, it doesn't happen. But if they do, it's gonna be devastating here. But for EDG, I feel like they have a ton more flexibility. They can go so many more routes, which gives them a lot more opportunity for setup. Which is why I like their competition a little bit better. But here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, they have their luxury. They have all of these safety nets. They also have the Senna, you know, for like long range heal. And late game, Senna with the free hits is definitely going to be a problem. Although, I want to know your thoughts about Jhin. Now, Jhin is definitely being picked recently. And his wave clear in the mid game is okay, but early game, my question is, how do you think is he gonna survive?
Well, of course, as a Jhin, don't necessarily have to look for fights earlier on. I mean, that's one of the nice things to have as a Jhin is you don't necessarily have to risk yourself to get a ton of the XP and gold going early on. But in the early game, I think Jhin can do that without much threat, especially in this matchup, especially against Agraga's Senna combo on the bottom lane. I don't think there's necessarily much to worry about, especially because it is a relatively safe lane when you have the safety net of an Ornn anyway. But here we go, they're roaming towards the bottom side.
Ho, there you go. Camille having proc as well, but have their eyes set on one. Will they be able to get it? That's going to be a 1v3, and kill goes over to Camille. Jhin says goodbye.
Beautiful map awareness there from EDG, immediately recognizing where the pathing is going to be off the bot lane. I mean, the moment that they recognized that Wawa was gone on that bottom side, and they just went in for the counter rotate, and they just caught them off guard. And they predicted where they were going to go to, pinching them to a point where they thought they were safe, but then they were not. I mean, take a look at this collapse one more time from Zhang. You caught unaware, didn't even expend the flash until the last minutes, and by then it was already too late. EDG, nice little punish, and on the ADC as well. Perfect.
I have to say this though, Jhin in that moment was slowed down a lot. You have the tactical sweep connecting as well as the barrels coming out of Gragas. You even have the roots coming out from Senna. So I think by that time, it was definitely not a good place for Jhin to be, given the fact that the area was kind of small as well. So it was a good goal for EDG. But now I think OMG, they can still survive this. They can still do something about this. But I think it's time to protect the Jhin.
Yeah, you talk about how to survive the early game, right? We just discussed this topic. Just play safe. Jhin, you don't have to risk anything, but OMG, they kind of went for an early game play on their bottom lane, and they paid for it. They gambled, and they lost. And that's just the way things goes here for the most part. So now, I think they're going to stick to the standard for now on, Yuko. Just stick to that bot side, farm up. And I know that sounds kind of repetitive and such, but not really much you can do at this point. Meanwhile, Zhang on the top side, dealing a bit of chip damage, already has the Hextech ultimatum, should they want to go for more of a committed engagement. But so far, no commitments on both ends. I would expect OMG to play a lot more safe after that first engagement on the bottom side.
Surprisingly, I believe that from time to time, we will see Evelynn making her way up at the Baron lane, just so they can try to wither down the possible damage that Fiora will have. I mean, Evelynn did drop by there earlier, but just to place a ward, there's no full-on or solidified plan just yet, but maybe later on, after, you know, the first Shelly or the first Herald or the first Dragon.
Yeah. Speaking of which, not up yet, both of those. A lane swap coming through alone, and Angi coming through towards the middle side. And OMG a bit late on the rotate here, so yeah, you could definitely see that there's a bit of a deficit when it comes to the macro here. OMG struggling a little bit to keep up with EDG, but the lead not that big, around an 800 gold lead for EDG, so nothing too big to worry about. It's in the team fights that OMG really want to shine, right? I mean, it's essentially what their comp is built for. Anyway, you got the Ornn set up with the Horn of the Forged God, and then you got Jhin, of course, with the Curtain Call. You want to make the most out of these big ultimates for OMG to make the most out of it. Meanwhile, for EDG, that's not necessarily true, right? You can just roam around with your Corki and your Senna and your Evelynn and look for these fights. But speaking of fights, Drake and Herald coming up. OMG on the mountain, Drake, but EDG, they want to contest this.
I actually want to see if they are going to try to force this. Evelynn was able to get rid of Herald, but here comes Camille with a tactical sweep, and that's going to be a full-on charge coming in from Fiora. The weak points has been proc as well, but they're not going to go full on. That's going to be a beautiful, beautiful ultimate coming in from Gragas, but of course, Ornn does charge in, and it looks like they really focused on the turret for the side of OMG. Was not able to get it, but at least they were able to get a huge chunk of damage on it.
Yeah, took the Drake as well. OMG, not too bad for them. EDG don't really take the coveted Rift Herald, so of course they're gonna have a little bit of a smile after that. Of course, Rift Herald has been more of a priority in the recent years of Wild Rift. Anyway, so I want to take a look at where they're going to invest that Shelly though. We're gonna pop it. So far, EDG yet to press their advantage. They can essentially look for fights here, but they've been very, very reserved. That's the one thing I like about these teams, right? They're very, very disciplined. They don't like risking stuff they don't have to. And EDG, that's the only thing they have to do right now. They have a definitive advantage already. And all you have to do is keep on playing safe, not press on anything too risky, and they should be good to go.
Speaking of good to go, you know, if any of these players decide to bait someone, it is pretty good to go, but they decide to rotate away from it, just leaving Kassadin alone here at the bot lane. They are going to try to merge towards the mid lane, but so far I'm seeing a lot of focus on wave clear, just trying to get as much vision as they can onto the Rift. Things going throughout the map. You know, even Evelynn just quietly looking for her next target. Let's see if her charm will come through. Kassadin is here. There is a wave coming in. Corki will be there as well. Let's see if they're gonna try to take this champion. But remember, Kassadin is pretty tanky. So yeah. I guess it's a no for now for EDG.
Pretty mobile as well. Really hard to catch a Kassadin off guard. Here we go. 0711. A little bit of poke coming through. Yeah, not much engagement in the map so far. On the scoreboard, we're pushing the 8-minute mark. 1 kill only. And here we go. 0711 again pressing on. And take a look at the map pressure that EDG is exerting on the map off of that objective win. They're already pressing on so many angles here. Top side might be looking for a dive here.
There's definitely going to be a dive. Actually, Senna coming in with ultimate as well, but it looks like it wasn't a full-on commit. It was a bait. Yeah. I think they just exhausted a lot of resources and a lot of key skills and one ultimate there. But I guess it was just Fiora being Fiora. You know, the slide and the surprise was able to force her to use the Grand Challenge onto Camille.
Yeah, had to use the flash as well. That's going to be massive here for the Evelynn. Gonna dwindle down her kill potential for the next few engagements at least. But not to worry, because there aren't any objectives spawning up pretty soon anyway. Drake is still a ways about. Baron is close, but I don't think anyone's gonna be prioritizing that soon. With regards to the gold lead, it's still barely a 1,000 gold lead here for EDG. Item advantages, though, are mostly towards the Baron laner. I'm talking about the Camille, which is certainly going to be the biggest headache here for OMG, right? Especially because it's a Camille. One of the fastest split pushers in the game right now. So I think SMK has to work double time on that Fiora to just keep up with the Camille here on Zhang. Or rather, White Cat, sorry. But hey, so far, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you mentioned about Camille being able to be mobile, go to places, point A to point B very, very fast. You also have the Hexic Ultimatum to lock in. But, you know, if you are going to be a Fiora, but wait, never mind, that's going to be a very good ultimate coming in from Gragas. Wow. And it looks like it's safe to say that they have their eyes set on just one champion. That's going to be another focus fire on that champion, poor Jin, and just in time for the Jake to spawn. Actually, Ornn will be there as well. Fiora at the back line. That's going to be a lot of damage being taken by Camille. Passive has been proc, but here comes Gragas. Throws out the barrel. Remember, you have Kassadin there as well. Ornn popping in the Call of the Forge God. That's going to be a lot of knockup, but Evelyn was able to get that Drake. Now you have the Grand Challenge being popped. You also have the Hex Ultimatum connecting as well. But Corki forced to use the special delivery just to make it out of there alive. And that was beautiful, beautiful step by step by OMG as well as EDG.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they were able to get the ADC earlier, and Evelyn was able to get the Drake.
Yeah, great disengage there from EDG after taking the Drake. And a decent attempt at the steal right there from India. You can see he's waiting for the last second to pop that Fiddlesticks ult. Wawa buying so much time there. But take a look at how EDG plays this team fight. They took out the Jin, right? And then they split up the map by Zhang distracting two of the players here for OMG. The Harm the Forge God comes in, but by the time it comes in, EDG already secures the Drake and they're already ready for the disengage. They left Corki there for the special package. You barely enough time to survive and just does so. And it's just so efficient here for EDG. They just lost one player, and they knew that they could win that fight because the ADC was not there. And off of that, again, great decision making from EDG, targeting the Jin, because they know that once the Jin is out, the Fiora is behind. The only damage output that there possibly is that Kassadin. And what did EDG do in that fight? They isolate the Kassadin, and then they won the fight.
Kassadin definitely was not able to go anywhere near them in that fight. So I guess it's going to be a rinse and repeat kind of situation for OMG here. But now let's still see what is going to happen the next few minutes. 0711 just doing, honestly, Evelyn things, trying to scout as much information as they can. But now you can see EDG slowly making their way into the mid lane just to clear the wave and, try to assert their dominance. Even Rasmus the Charm connecting onto one. Wow. That's going to be a good attempt, but Jin being able to pop in with the curtain call. Focus fires on Gragas. Here is Senna with the ultimate as well. Gragas throwing out the ultimate as well. Ornn, actually Senna being able to root one. Senna gets a kill onto Ornn, and Corki with that Gatling gun was not able to get anyone, but EDG is trying and most probably will get this Baron.
They're burning down through this Baron. OMG, they have to respond here. They're coming in, but are they late?
That is the question. Let's see. Tactical C being popped as well. Gragas getting a lot of damage. Oh, are you tanky? Definitely not. Explodes because of Jin. But I think that was a sacrifice that is worth it. EDG, they get their hands on the Baron.
Oh, they got to get to execute on the Jin. Unsuccessful this time, but it still nets them enough control to get that Baron. I mean, there's not enough damage from 0711 to shut down the Jin. But that's okay, as long as they could suppress them enough to recall and retreat from a fight. It's more than enough to take the Baron. And again, EDG, so good at deciding on the fly. I mean, the amount of awareness that you have to decide to take the Baron after a not so successful fight and then take the Baron successfully as well is mind-boggling here, Yuko. And they do it on the fly here, like microseconds to decide, and they do it on point. It's amazing to witness. And now we go to the point of Zhang so ahead in that 1v1 that he's becoming a headache. This is where that advantage is going to manifest. Now that they have the Baron buff, they could just leave Zhang all alone in that bottom side, and the rest of the team can terrorize the whole map, and it's going to be a successful siege because they have to put attention to Zhang. Look, that's exactly what's happening right now. There's 2 people guarding Zhang, even 3.
That's a lot of commitment, definitely, just for one champion. And with that, looks like no more outer mid-lane turrets for the side of OMG. It only took EDG one good team fight, one good Baron take, and like what you said, they were able to utilize it so much. Just pick your lane, and we're gonna go all in. Looks like they even want to get the last turret from the Baron side. We're not able to do so, but it looks like OMG rather is gonna try to get the fight instead. EDG was able to get their Jin yet again. And with that, you have the focus fire onto one. It's going to be a jump in. Let's see if they'll be able to get a lot of damage. Corki is pretty much alive. Evelyn does get bursted down by Kassadin. too close for comfort, but now looking at the bottom lane, another 1v1. The Baron lane is going to be a flash in coming in from Fiora. A lot of damage being dished out by this champion. Camille's passive being proc. Adaptive defense, but now let's be the Hextech ultimatum. Will they survive with the juggle? Apparently from 1v1, it became a 2v1. And with that, OMG, they get the victory.
Yeah, beautifully played by White Cat there, punishing that Camille. Now EDG, they're out for revenge for their teammate. And now the Drake has spawned up. No, OMG, they want to contest this, but there's 3 players of EDG here. Can they fight this?
That is the question. Orn popping in with the ultimate. Let's see if the curtain call will be of any help as well. But it looks like the blue team still was able to secure that objective. Corki gets a kill onto Fiddlesticks, and it looks like EDG now. It looks like they're gonna chase, but I won't be surprised if they decide to let go, because the objective is already down.
Yeah.
Fiddlesticks is already down. So there's really nothing else to do there.
Yeah, I don't really need to risk anything at that point. I already took the Drake. So, yeah, exactly. I agree. They don't have to risk the fight, so they did not. EDG, we know them to be a team that is very disciplined. That's exactly what they're showcasing right now. A 4,000 gold lead right now, Yuko. And it makes you wonder, what can OMG do to come back into this game? I mean, sure, they've got scaling, but the gen is a long ways off. Only 1 item completed on a Storm Razor. Maybe the key for them to win this is SMK on this Kassadin. Maybe that's what they're banking on right now, but unfortunately that burst play is botched by a ward. But the Baron one, I think EDG, they're threatening it right now. OMG, they have to contest every single objective, because at this point every objective could be a game-winning objective for EDG, and OMG they can't risk giving anything away anymore.
Agreed. This is definitely do or die for OMG, but I don't think it's impossible. All right, they still need like a good 2 or 3 team fights to be able to turn the tides, but it's not impossible just yet. Tactical sweep being used by Camille again was able to get the fruit away from the mid lane, and EDG at this point, they're just waiting for literally an opening before maybe they can cast the Hextech ultimatum, maybe even a surprise barrel from Gragas. We'll never know.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But EDG, the thing is, Yuko, they have the liberty of choice right now, right? They could go for a Baron, they could go for a split push, they could look for a fight even. I mean, they could do so many things here, but OMG, they have to play reactively at this point, right? They have to respect and respond to whatever EDG decides to do, and it seems like EDG, they want to look for a fight.
They definitely do, and that's me the flashing coming in from Camille with a tactical sweep plus the Hextech ultimatum. Oh! Here comes Orn's ultimate as well, but it looks like Senna was able to pop the ultimate as well. Jin does go down, gets taken down by Corki. The damage is definitely gonna hurt a lot with the Gatling gun, with all of those surprises, all of those bursts. It looks like EDG was able to get the upper hand again, and what do you do when you're ahead? You rotate over immediately to Barret.
Oh, they're
but
going back
OMG
in for
is
more.
Still there, but Camille was able to spot that sneaky Fiddlesticks. A lot of damage being taken. Corki became golden. Let's see if they'll be able to turn things around. Fiora was able to take down Corki, but how about the Baron? Evelyn secures that, no problem. Here comes Fiddlesticks again with Fiora, with Cassidy even. TP coming in. Let's see if EDG will be able to make an amazing play. A little bit too late to the party, but still. Baron secured, and they were champions taken down by OMG.
Oh, the flash forward from 0711. It's not done yet! But he's still got a flash. Okay, he's gonna survive for now.
He's safe.
But OMG, they couldn't even get close to the Baron there. EDG holding the line so far, but they're looking for more here, Yuko.
Definitely looking for more. Here comes the bullets coming in from the curtain call. Crane, Jusena gets taken down by Orn. Caspian being able to get Gragas as well.
Yeah, OMG. Just taking all the eggs here from EDG. And they will be taking the Drake, the Elder Drake. This could be a turnaround for them. And there's no way that EDG can contest this. And this is actually the first sort of breathing room that they've had in the last 10 minutes or so. OMG finally catching a break here. And it's the biggest Drake of all as well. The Elder Drake. There's a chance for them to take this all, Yuko, if they are able to force out a team fight. But again, EDG, we commend them a lot for being very, very disciplined and very reserved in terms of looking for fights when they don't need to. So it's gonna be really hard. The challenge now for OMG is to look or to force out these fights. But I'm not sure if their composition is necessarily built for that, right? They got an Ornn to start off fights, yes, but it's not something as robust as an explosive cask from a Gragas or something like a Blitzcrank hook for that matter. So the challenge for them now is to how to use this Elder Drake. SMK seems like they're setting up something here with the Kassadin. And that's the good thing about their comp right now is they have a ton of damage on the Kassadin. I'm not sure about the Jhin though, but if they find an isolated target such as 0711, maybe they might just be able to find an opening kill.
That is a question, you know, maybe they can definitely find the opening kill. And I like how you mentioned that this is technically the time of the game where OMG's composition is gonna shine. So let's see if they'll be able to make things happen here. They're slowly making their way into the side of EDG, going with that sneaky play.
Let's see. Slowly marching down towards oh, what is that? Got an execute. SMK goes golden. That's a Horn of the Forged God. Super long range. OMG, what is happening right now? But they're trying to press on here, Yuko. They got a turret, and so far it's working, I guess. The Elder Drake here comes to curtain. Oh! What? What a snipe down! And OMG, Yuko, they're making it work!
Making it work. So earlier on, we've seen Jhin get assassinated multiple times. He's done, okay? He's done being taken down.
Oh,
now is his time to take on all of these champions. And with that, it's going to go all in. OMG not missing any beat at all. They take a lot of kills coming from the side of EDG. And with that, they get the victory for game number 1. We thought it was a rocky start, but I think it was all according to plan for OMG. They were patient, they were able to make things happen,